Shabbat Shalom, everyone. We begin our service singing together Ma Yafeh Hayom Shabbat Shalom. How beautiful the day is, it is Shabbat. And we turn to page 172 to sing together Ma Tovu. As we turn to page 195 for the Berlow. ברוך אתה אדוני אלוהינו מלך העולם, יוצר אור ובורא חושך, עושה שלום ובורא את הכל, המאיר לארץ ולדרים עליה ברחמים, ובטובו מחדש בכל יום תמיד מעשה וראשית. מה רבו מעשיך אדוני, כולם בחוכמה עשית, מלא הארץ קנייניך. תתברך אדוני אלוהינו על שבח מעשה ידיך, ועל מאורי אור שעשית יפארו חסלה. אור חדש על ציון תאיר, ונזכה כולנו מהרה לאורו. ברוך אתה אדוני יוצר המאורות. And we read together, the world is sunlight, restoring the soul, rejoicing the heart, bringing light to the eyes, more welcome than gold, a Torah from heaven. I have no light to give the morning. My Torah, my special human gift, is words. As I bring my words forth from silence, welcome them, you who redeems the sun from darkness. Baruch atah Adonai, Yotzer HaMeorot. And we turn to page 200 for the calling of the Shema.
Adonai
Please be seated. ואהבת את אדוני אלוהיך בכל לבבך ובכל נפשך ובכל מאודיך. והיו הדברים האלה אשר אנוכי מצווך היום על לבביך, ושיננתם לבניך, ודיברת בם, בשבתך בביתך, ובלכתך בדרך, ובשוכבך ובקומך, וקשרתם לאות על ידיך, והיו לטוטפות בין עיניך, וכתבתם על מזוזות ביתך ובשעריך. למען תזכרו ועשיתם את כל מצוותיי, והייתם קדושים לאלוהיכם. אני אדוני אלוהיכם, אשר הוצאתי אתכם מארץ מצרים להיות לכם לאלוהים. אני אדוני אלוהיכם. Turn to page 204 to sing together Michamocha. We rise as we turn to page 205 for the tefillah.
Thank you.
אדוני, אלוהינו ואלוהי אבותינו ואמותינו, אלוהי אברהם, אלוהי יצחק ואלוהי יעקב, אלוהי שרה, אלוהי רבקה, אלוהי רחל ואלוהי לאה, האל הגדול, הגיבור והנורא, אל עליון, גומל חסדים טובים וקונה הכל, וזוכר חסדי אבות ואימהות, ומביא גאולה לבני בניהם למען שמו באהבה. מלך עוזר ומושיע ומגן, ברוך אתה אדוני, מגן אברהם ועזרת שרה. Source of all being, we turn to you as did our people in ancient days. They beheld you in the heavens, they felt you in their hearts, they sought you in their lives. Their quest is ours. Help us to see the wonder of being. Give us the courage to search for truth. Teach us the path to a better life. So shall we, by our lives and our labors, bring near the world we envision, one of justice, freedom, and peace. Baruch ata Adonai, Magen Avraham ve'ezrat Sarah. And we read together. You are the open door that beckons me in. Peeking around the door frame, I begin to enter into your glory. You move me forward, O Eternal, to step beyond self-made boundaries. Lift my foot over the threshold that I might abide with you. In the house of the Eternal, I found my questions waiting to be posed. They filled me with wonder. Sit with me, eternal teacher. Encourage my seeking. As I fill my hours with your mitzvot, so shall I be filled. Send me through your door, stretching up to honor your name, sharing out this wonder, enriching myself in the given. Blessed are you, Adonai, who gives life to all. Baruch ata Adonai, mechaye hakol. To all generations we will make known your greatness, and to all eternity proclaim your holiness. Your praise, O God, shall never depart from our lips. Blessed are you, Adonai, the holy God. Baruch ata Adonai, Ha'el HaKadosh. Please be seated. Turn now to page 216 for the Pray for Shalom, for peace and wholeness and wellness. O God, may we never become complacent, faltering in our effort to build a world of peace. Let the nations know and understand that justice and right are better than dominion and conquest. May all come to see that it is not by might nor by power, but by your Spirit that life prevails. Praised are you, Adonai, who blesses your people Israel with peace. Baruch ata Adonai, amvarech et amo Yisrael bashalom. The Misha Berach, the prayer for healing and courage and strength in our lives, healing and courage and strength for everyone that we care about, is on page 253. We turn now to Seder Kriyat Torah Shabbat, the order of reading from the Torah on Shabbat on page 244. Please rise. Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad. Hear, O Israel, Adonai is our God, Adonai is one. Echad Eloheinu, Gadol Adonenu, Kadosh Shemo. Our God is one, Adonai is great, holy is God's name. Please be seated. We're at the Torah portion that is called Ekev, which means because of, or that's what happened because of certain circumstances. And it has a lot in it. We'll read a part that Moses is retelling some of the stories that we already read about in Exodus. The context of the Torah portion is 39 years and 12 months into the Exodus from Egypt 11 months and a few days into the 12 months of almost the end of the journey from Egypt to the land of Israel. We're at the bank of the Jordan River, about to cross the bank, and Moses is telling the generation that has not lived through the beginning of the Exodus what happened at the early stages of the Exodus from Egypt. He's retelling the story, but he's telling it as if the people were there. The idea is that every generation has actually lived through those major events in our story. And we're now at the part that is going to retell the second part of the story of what happened in Sinai. The first part that he already told was the story of the golden calf, and now he's going to tell the aftermath of the golden calf. What is always fascinating in the book of Deuteronomy, since it's retelling the same events, it's the chance to compare. What is Moses adding? What is similar? What is different? And why does that matter? And what is the emphasis in Moses' story? There's also another thing here. You know, the rabbis always teach us something which is very true about most of the Torah, and that is that the Torah likes to keep it short. So there's hardly any repetition in the Torah. And when the Torah repeats the same thing time and again, then that means that there's a reason there. The issue with Deuteronomy is one long speech. So you know, at the seminary for rabbis, they always teach you, till today, how do you give a sermon like Moses gave? You first introduced what you're going to say, then you actually say it, and then you retell it, emphasizing the importance of what you just said. So a sermon, a speech, is always repeating at least 3 times what you were going to say. It's not just a very short description. So Deuteronomy is 3 huge sermons. So there are a lot of repetitions, and they always mean that something is important there. So we're at the beginning of chapter 10 in the book of Deuteronomy. We'll read just the first few verses, but first we'll say the blessing that is on page 250 in our prayer books. Baruch Adonai Amvorach Leolam Va'ed.
Baruch Atah Adonai Eloheinu Melech HaOlam Asher Bachar Banu Mikol Ha'amim V'natan Lanu Et Torato. Baruch Atah Adonai Noten HaTorah. Amen.
בעת ההיא אמר אדוני אלי, פסול לך 2 לוחות אבנים כראשונים, ועלה אלי ההרה, ועשית לך ארון עץ, ואכתוב על הלוחות את הדברים אשר היו על הלוחות הראשונים, אשר שיברת, ושמתם בארון, ויעש ארון עצי שיטים, ואפסול 2 לוחות אבנים כראשונים, ויעל ההרה ו2 הלוחות בידי, ויכתוב על הלוחות כמכתב הראשון, את 10 הדברים אשר דיבר אדוני אליכם בהר מתוך האש ביום מקהל, ויתנם אדוני אלי, ואפן וירד מן ההר, ואשים את הלוחות בארון אשר עשיתי. Thereupon Adonai said to me, crave out 2 tables of stone like the first, and come up to me on the mountain, and make an ark of wood. I will inscribe on the tablets the commandments that were on the first tablets that you smashed, and you shall deposit them in the ark. I made an ark of acacia wood, and curved out 2 tablets of stone like the first. I took the 2 tablets with me and went up the mountain, after inscribing on the tablets the same text as on the first, the 10 commandments that Adonai addressed to you on the mountain out of the fire on the day of the assembly. Adonai gave them to me. Then I left and went down from the mountain, and I deposited the tablets in the ark that I made, where they still are, as Adonai had commanded me. So I don't know if you noticed that he's retelling the same thing 3 times, just as you're supposed to do in a sermon, as short as it is. But there are things here that are similar and things that are different from the first story that we heard in Exodus. The thing that bothered the rabbis the most, I don't know why that bothered them the most. There's something here that bothers me more, but the rabbis were bothered by the issue of the ark. If you remember in Exodus, it's a big hoo-ha, the ark. The ark is a masterpiece of Bezalel and the other wise people that are wise in their heart. And it takes a lot of space, the building of the ark. And it's an ark made out of wonderful things with gold and with kruvim, cherubim on top of that, made out of gold. And there's a whole kaporet, a whole plate of gold on it. And it's a big to-do thing. And you need, if you remember in the book of Numbers, to carry it like more or less a whole group of Kohanim, all of the children of the house of Kehat, which are actually relatives of Moses, to just carry and to deal with the ark. And all of a sudden, we have a simple wooden table. Moses builds it. It's not a big to-do. It's just a simple table made of atzei shittim, acacia woods in English, and that is it. So what happened to the ark of the book of Exodus? The rabbis are so bothered that they actually are claiming that there are two arks, one to stay in the sanctuary and the other one, the ark sometimes go to war with the people of Israel, so the other one is the portable one that you take to war, the wooden one, but that's not what the text says. It's like a different story, so that's what's bothering them. The other thing that they're saying by passing is two things that Moses here mentioned. One is God reminds Moses of the fact that Moses smashed the two tablets, Asher Shibarta, which means I didn't tell you to break them, and the rabbis noticed the fact that God is not taking responsibility on smashing of the two tablets. And the other thing that I think is a very radical statement here, these two tablets are very different than the first two tablets. I'm not talking about the fact that between Deuteronomy and Exodus there's slight differences, some of them actually not so slight, big differences in what's written on the tablets. Let's assume that it's the same thing, that it's the same 10 statements, it's the same writing of what we call the 10 Commandments. But the first pair, according to Exodus, was something that God created, God curved, and God wrote in God's own hand in fire on them. And all of a sudden here, the words are stated by Adonai, but Moses is the one curving, and it's not clear who's actually writing them. Is Moses writing or God is writing? So two things about it. The rabbis, in a very short sentence on Asher Shibarta, that you smashed, are changing the words and saying that actually what God said to Moses is Yishar Koach Sheshibarta. Yishar Koach is the synagogue way of saying, well done, Moses. Okay, so God is like giving Moses, you did well smashing those tablets. And then you ask why. Are the second tablets better than the first tablets? The first tablets were done only by God, and it was made by God and God only. The second tablets are made by Moses with the words of God in them. And the rabbis are saying to us, the first tablets were too much to handle. That's why Moses had to smash them. They were not such a great idea. They were demanding too much of the people. That's why we saw the golden calf. The second pair is a cooperation of the divine and us. This is something that we can actually live with. It's kind of a radical idea saying, if God comes down to earth with commandments, with statements of what we're supposed to do, this is something that is too much for us to handle. But if it's a cooperation of God and us, and together we create a covenant, it's not a covenant that God created for us, but it's together we create a covenant, that is actually something that we can fulfill. And the idea that it was up to a human being, up to Moses, to smash what God has created because we cannot handle it, and to create something which is an improvement that the rabbis are going to say actually deserves a yishar koach, a well done Moses. That is kind of a very radical idea, saying to us that the tradition of the covenant of Moses, of Sinai, is actually teaching us that if a demand comes only from God, it's above our ability. When it's a cooperation of humanity together with the divine, this is something that we can actually buy into and fulfill. Let's do the blessing after reading from the Torah.
Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, asher natan lanu Torat emet, v'chayei olam natan b'tocheinu. Baruch atah Adonai, noten haTorah.
Amen. Please rise.
V'zot haTorah asher sam Moshe livnei bnei Yisrael. V'zot haTorah asher sam Moshe livnei bnei Yisrael. Al pi Adonai v'yad Moshe, v'yad Moshe. Al pi Adonai v'yad Moshe, v'yad Moshe. V'zot haTorah asher sam Moshe livnei bnei Yisrael. V'zot haTorah asher sam Moshe livnei bnei Yisrael.
And we turn to page 283 for the Aleinu. We read together, "Let us adore the ever-living God and render praise unto you, who spreads out the heavens and established the earth, whose glory is revealed in the heavens above, and whose greatness is manifest throughout the world. You are our God, there is none else." Please be seated. We continue together on page 287. May we gain wisdom in our lives, overflowing like a river with understanding. Loved each of us for the peace we bring to others. May our deeds exceed our speech, and may we never lift up our hand, but to conquer fear and doubt and despair. Rise up like the sun, O God, over all humanity. Cause light to go forth over all the lands between the seas, and light up the universe with the joy of wholeness, of freedom, and of peace.
Adonai,
thoughts turn to those who have departed this earth, our own loved ones, those whom our friends and neighbors have lost, the martyrs of our people whose graves are unmarked, and those of every race and nation whose lives have been a blessing to humanity. As we remember them, we meditate on the meaning of love and loss, of life and death. On this Shabbat, we remember especially Joshua Fink, Raymond Allen Sr., Dr. Stanley Frager, Alfred Joseph Sr., Yvette Weisberg, Ann Hellman, Stephen J. Goldstein, Pauline Weitz, David Bloom, Joseph Michael D., Maurice Feynman, Shirley Gear, Betty Jones, Robin C. Loeb, Wolf Malkin, Simon Penso, Seymour Zaller, Jack Alcon, Ann Goodman, Ruth Marion Goodman, Grace Nafusi, Clara B. Zaks, Denise Seligman, Sol Tuckman, Harry Aberson, Ada Florence Bliden, Esther Eppinger, Marcia Hertzman, Suzanne Loeb, Oscar Sales, Sanford Spiegel, Suzanne Weinstein, David Wise, Janet Anderson, Ida Grabfelder, Jacob Levy, Fanny Netter, and in recent days, Myra Epstein. We think of our loved ones whom death has recently taken from us, those who died at this season in years past, and those on whom we have drawn into our hearts. With our blessed memories in our hearts, we rise as we turn to page 294 to say the Mourner's Kaddish. יתגדל ויתקדש שמי רבה, בעלמא דברה חירותי וימליך מלכותי, בחייכון וביומכון ובחיי דכל בית ישראל, בעגלה ובזמן קריב ואמרו אמן. יהי שמי רבה מברך לעלם ולעולמי עולמיה, יתברך וישתבח ויתפאר ויתרומם ויתנשא, ויתהדר ויתעלה ויתעלה על שמי דקודשה בריחו, לעילה מן כל ברכתה ושירתה, תושבחתה ונחמתה, דאמירן בעלמה ואמרו אמן. יהא שלם הרבה מן שמיה, וחיים עלינו ועל כל ישראל ואמרו אמן. עושה שלום במרומיו, הוא יעשה שלום עלינו ועל כל ישראל ואמרו אמן. זיכרונם לברכה, may the memory of our loved ones come to be a blessing and a benediction. Amen. Our closing song is Od Yavo.
You can find it on page 353. Od Yavo Shalom Aleinu, Od Yavo Shalom Aleinu, Od Yavo Shalom Aleinu, ve'al kulam. Od Yavo Shalom Aleinu, Od Yavo Shalom Aleinu, Od Yavo Shalom Aleinu, ve'al kulam. Salam Aleinu ve'al kol ha'olam, Salam Shalom.
Shabbat Shalom, everyone. Please say Shabbat Shalom to someone you have not met before, and also to people that you do know. Shabbat Shalom.